Hello everyone, Great Creator Studios here. And yes, you can hear my glorious voice now because I have a microphone. That's right, it's time for the Genshin Impact tutorial I promised at the start of the summer. Sorry I didn't get around to this sooner, I was busy working on the pilot, link in the description, please check it out, of My Magical Life, which is a show I am actively trying to promote. I hope you all take the time to give it a watch if you like this video. Alright, the first step, go into the description of this video, and watch the first link in the description, because the YouTube creator Nevda Lani, I have no idea if I'm saying that right at all, but essentially, they have a very nice tutorial on how to actually download the models and get this all set up. I do not know how I did it the first time. I've taken so many breaks from this that it's just a wash. They go through the Blender add-on system and getting it all set up and even importing your model. This isn't going to be much of a comprehensive tutorial or have a lot of technical terms. This is just going to be going over what I know about the situation, but I'm picking up from when they left off, essentially. So, what you want to do is, if all goes well and you follow their tutorial step by step, you will have this tab, Genshin Impact, and I don't know how I ended up with Honkai Star Rail or Punishing Grey Raven, but future me problem. Anyway, for our intents and purposes, you click on the Genshin Impact tab, and then you hit the button, Run Entire Setup. Now I'm getting a pop-up window right now, I don't know if you can see this. But it doesn't matter if you can see it or not, because I like to keep my file system private for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the files, and I'm going to go find the characters. So it's in a file name called GI Assets Main. Gonna go to Models, Characters. Okay, who haven't I done yet? I have not done Chaska. I like Chaska. I've been trying to get her in the new banner. I'm going to click on Avatar, Lady, Bow, Chaska, FBX. And then it's going to take a second. I've clicked on it. It's running the setup. It's thinking about it. There we go. And it looks like it came in one piece. So I'm going to click on Viewport Shading just so I can see. There we go. Now let me just move in. So here is Chaska. Alright, everything appears to be in order. So what's really sweet about these rigs is that they have this nice little hinge at the back. Let's see if I can click on it. Oh, gotta be in object mode. They have this nice little hinge at the back where if you move it, it affects the lighting around them, and I think that's awesome and better than any PMX or MMD setup. But I know what you're thinking. Great Creator Studios, this rig is just a jumbled mess of bones. Why does she have 3 hip bones? Well, this is where my tips and tricks of trial and error come in. This is where I pick up. So, in order to make her rig even slightly tolerable, like, look at this. You can't move her arms without moving at the wrist, so it's like a puppet, and like her fingers can't bend because they're all on one big stick. It's just a mess. So, what you gotta do, go into Item, and then you'll see all these little options. So, you can play around with these and find out your specific likes, but let's see. You can turn on Tweaks. These don't usually work. Pivots and Pins, don't need these. Offsets, that eliminates a whole lot of junk. Face, that's her face controls, so depending if you're having them talk or making facial expressions, you want to keep that on. Okay, now we're into the IK and FK scenario. You can have both of these on at the same time, or not, but I keep both of these on, just so I can have some options. Fingers, turn these off, and then turn on Fingers Detail, and then it does that for some reason, I don't know why. It just turned off a whole bunch of my bones. Doesn't matter though. Fingers Detail. Now, look at that. Fingers are made up of a bunch of little rings, so you can move these individually and have greater freedom of movement. Alright, so now, let's see. These control her left and right arms. So now, we get into IK and FK. Basically, IK sucks. FK is cool. Except for the legs. Now, I do Minecraft animations. I'm used to selecting this hinge and lifting it up, and that's how I make a walk cycle. If you don't like that, that's fine. You can just turn these on, but you can't have both IK and FK for them activated at the same time. I'm going to show you what I mean in a sec. So I'm going to keep off. Oops, that's the wrong one. Oh, no, it's doing it again. I don't know why it does this. This program doesn't want me to run these. So I'm going to turn on. Nope. Okay. And then I'm going to have root. Keep the physics off for now. And then cage, that's useless. And other is also a jumbled mess. So this setup is primarily what I like to have. But you're going to notice a key problem here. I select this arm bone. Uh-oh. Bone's moving. Her arm isn't. What's the deal here? So basically, it's not set up to follow these bones. And I've tried a lot of things. And here's what works inside the rig. You select the bone you want. And you do this once. You don't need to do this for every bone on her left side. You just need to do it for one. So I go here. Then I go IK-FK, hand L. Switch that from 0 all the way to 1. Boom. Move an arm. Go all the way over here. Right hand. Do the same thing. 0 to 1. Boom. This arm moves now. This took me hours of trial and error and searching through Reddit and YouTube videos, but I did it. Now, final step. Now you've got your settings configured the way you like them. What do? You start animating? No. This file you got right here, do not import any other characters because that will destroy them. What you need to do is save this. So Q is my save key. Another window just pop up. I'm going to save it real quick. So key to running this stuff is organization. You got to be organized. I give each of them their own folder. Save blend file. Okay. Now I leave this file and then I can import this blend file into a new project with a bunch of other characters. However, I wouldn't recommend going over 2 or 3 depending on the power of your computer. Now, I am not an expert. I'll do my best to try and help if you have questions in the comments or if I didn't explain anything clear enough. But weapons, I don't know. Last time I used them, I just imported their standard file from a website. But I don't know if there's any special setup process I should be doing for them. Now, certain characters, especially the newer ones, like the Captain, Malvika, Mulani, they are not importing correctly for whatever reason, and they end up as like a jumbled mess on the floor. Dvalin, that dragon's in the files, his skin comes out all jumbled. So there's still a lot of gray areas that I need to work through, and I hope whoever did this can update the model sometime in the future or explain what's going on. But for now, I'm going to work with the characters I have. I've been trying to get the enemies to work, like all the villain characters. Villain NPCs like the Fatui soldiers and the Hilitrolls, but so far no luck there. They just break the system. I'm going to keep trying, but I'm going back into school. Like, literally, I go back to school tomorrow. So it's probably going to be a while before I can come back with an answer. But in the meantime, I hope this tutorial was at least slightly useful, and I will try to get it up as soon as possible. But yeah, thanks for listening, and if you really want to show me you appreciate the tutorial, just go give the pilot of My Magical Life a view. I hope you'll give it a like, and I worked really hard on that. Link in the description. So yeah, that's our show, folks. Have a good night.